Hello, I'm Panorama Dan. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is going to be a little different than my normal video where I travel around in my 45-foot converted bus and take panoramic views of different things that interest me. Today we're going to be doing a product review. And this is a review on a product that my wife and I bought a couple of weeks ago. We've spent enough time with it now that I think I can speak a little bit intelligently about it. And so here's the problem that we had. We love e-bike riding. We ride quite a bit. And whenever we have to communicate with each other, it was always terrible. I normally ride in the front, and so I find myself turning around, yelling something back, only to find her not being able to hear it. And of course, the inevitable answer is, huh, or I couldn't hear you, or what did you say? And this just was happening all the time. And so we started looking for a solution where we could communicate with each other while we're on the road for safety reasons. Here's a for instance. About a month ago, we were traveling. My wife's chain came off. I was in front of her, didn't realize, drove almost a mile because we were in light traffic and I was paying attention to the traffic before I realized she wasn't with me anymore. And she had my cell phone. There was no way to get in touch with me. It was a little bit of a scary time for her. So we were looking for a solution. And what we came across was there's a lot of interest and a lot of manufacturing going into bicycle helmets now that have some kind of communication integrated into them. And as we did our research, I came across this company, Sena. So you may not know anything about Sena. And in today's video, what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about Sena. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the fit, finish, and quality of this helmet, and also to tell you about the high-tech features that are designed into it. So let's dive right in. Who is Sena? If you've not been around the motorcycle industry, you may never heard of the name. I hadn't, and but they're not a new company. A lot of the companies that you're seeing that are developing this type of technology for bicycle riders are really new into the world of communication, helmets, and that's not totally to say they are not doing a quality job. It's just to say that Sena has been around, and they've spent a lot of time developing solutions for motorcycle riders to have helmets and to have communication between riders. And what they've done is they've taken what they've learned in the motorcycle industry and brought it to the bicycling world. And with that, they've developed not just one or two, but a couple of different models. And we came up with the R1 as being our choice. So as we look at the R1, the first thing we want to look at is quality, fit, and finish. Now, our first bicycle helmets that we bought a year ago, when we bought our bicycles, quite frankly, were cheap helmets. We paid around $30 for them. And they're like a million other bicycle helmets around. When you feel them, they just kind of felt a little cheap, and they were cheap. You know, this helmet is in a different class. The R1 retails for right at $130. So when you look at the fit, finish, and quality of this helmet, it certainly should be much better than that helmet. You know, at 4 times the cost, it should be better. And it is. When you feel how things are put together, it just feels like it's going to stay together. It doesn't feel like the plastic is just going to pop off. When you look at the straps, the adjustment points are a lot easier than the other helmet. You know, they just work really well. It has a leather chin strap. So there's a lot of great features in this helmet that warrant that price if you were just buying it just for a helmet. And let's just be real about this. When you buy a helmet, it doesn't matter how many high-tech features it has. If it doesn't protect your head, then it isn't worth having. And Sena is a company that has been producing motorcycle helmets to DOT standards. So they know what it takes to produce a helmet that not only will protect your head, but also will last. Inside, you'll find a lot of nice padding that can be removed and washed, and you'll find that on a lot of high-quality helmets. the mechanism for adjusting it to your head is kind of a standard in the industry. You know, it's you twist to get the right size, and when you put this helmet in, if you buy the correct size for your head, it's a very comfortable fit. One thing I did notice, and before we bought even, is this helmet does not have a visor, and you can purchase a visor. We chose not to. Not sure why Sena chose to make it without a visor and have to buy that extra. Probably to hit a price point. Not sure there, but you can buy one if you want one. We decided we would try it without the visor, and if we decided that we really needed one, we could purchase it afterwards. So that goes into the fit, finish, and quality of the helmet as a helmet. Next, I want to talk about the things that come with this helmet as far as the high tech. So what you're going to find first is that there's a battery to run all the electronics that are in this helmet. There's a rechargeable battery, and there's a port back here that will plug into a USB. And anything will charge USB will charge this helmet. The manufacturer says it'll last up to 8 hours. We've been on a couple of rides for 4 hours, and we did not use them 100% during that 4 hours, but we went through the whole 4 hours on and off, playing music, not playing music, communicating back and forth with each other, and we've always had battery left to spare. So later on we'll find out just exactly maybe what the limits are of the battery, but for now we're pretty happy that the battery lasts a long time, long enough for our rides. The other things that you'll find on this helmet as far as fit and finish are it has two earpieces that act for speakers. So these will ride right above your ears, and this is where the sound comes out. And you may be saying, why would I need that? I can always just put an earbud in. But the idea here with Sena is that if you have earbuds in, you can't hear what's going on. You can't be situationally aware of maybe somebody's coming up behind you in a car. You can't hear a horn. And so by putting these speakers right above your ears are always open, and you can be situationally aware of things that are going around you with noise, and you'll be able to react quicker. The other feature it has is it has an integrated noise-canceling microphone. This noise-canceling microphone was something I was really concerned. I read different articles on other headsets, and some were not that great, didn't review that well. But the reviews seem to be good on the Sena, and we are really happy. As we turn the mic on, we can hear each other crystal clear. On a ride the other day, we were actually out of line of sight, and I was a ways down the hill, and my wife was able to communicate with me. No problems, no skipping. We were probably at the threshold of the half-mile apart from each other. Sena says that this will work up to a half mile, and we found that to be pretty accurate, even though it's not line of sight. And so with all that said, the fit, finish, and quality of the helmet is good. The things that make it a helmet are good. The things that make it high-tech are very good. And so as far as we're concerned, those things work really well, and it's a good helmet. So let's talk about the high-tech features that this helmet has. We've established it's a good helmet, fits well, does those things that a helmet needs to do. But it also has several high-tech features, one of them being it has an FM radio. It's built in. It comes with 10 presets. You can also scan for channels if you're in an area that's you don't have presets for. You can actually go onto the app and put the presets in, or you can scan and put them in. if you're in an area that you don't normally ride and you don't want to mess up your presets, you can put temporary presets in, and when you turn the helmet off and you turn it back on, your normal presets will go back in. And you may be asking, why an FM radio? I mean, let's be honest, most of us have other ways of listening to music these days, but what if your phone goes dead? Or you happen to not want to bring your phone with you? The FM radio, it's good. I used it, I tested it. It's not my preferred way of listening to music, but I did test it and it works well, and I'm very pleased with that. The other high-tech feature that this helmet comes with is that it will pair with your phone, and any way you listen to media on your phone, Bluetooth, you can Bluetooth and listen to that media through the earphones on the helmet. So whether it's a podcast or whether it's Pandora radio or the music that you have saved to your phone, any of those things, you can Bluetooth connect these two devices and listen to that music. But not only can you listen to it, you can pause it. You can skip to to the next song. So it's wonderful in that fact that you can be connected to your media in a way that you couldn't be connected before. It also acts, because it's paired to your phone, as a way to accept calls, reject calls. You can accept a call and talk on the phone while you're riding on your bicycle, hands-free, and then when you get ready, you can hang up. But the real reason why my wife and I were in search of a helmet was the communication between each other. And this is a place where this helmet really excels. Not that it doesn't in the other areas, but because this was really a feature that we were looking for. What this helmet allows you to do is to Bluetooth pair not just one helmet, but up to 4 helmets together. Now, her and I mostly do just together, but if we had friends that we were riding with and they had these helmets, or if you had a group of buddies that were riding, you can pair these helmets together, and you can open a channel and talk to one another. You can leave that channel open and talk to one another. If you're traveling in a group and you want to speak to Bob, but you don't want to have Sam hear it, you can, even in the middle of a Bluetooth pairing conversation, you can single out one person and not another person. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing what all has been packed into this. On the side of the helmet, you'll find that there's 3 buttons. And these 3 buttons are the way that you access and control all the functions of the helmet. That's a very good thing, because if you had different buttons for your music and different buttons for your intercom and different buttons for your cell phone, this thing would have buttons all over it, and it wouldn't be very convenient. But while it's a good thing, it can also be a bad thing, because there's only 3 buttons. Each button has to function in different ways. It has to control multiple devices. And that's a part that takes a little bit of getting used to. We've had them for 2 weeks. We're finally figuring out some things. Here's a for instance. We would have our music on, and we would go to start the intercom. We would touch the middle button, which starts the intercom. And our music would go off. That's what it's supposed to do. And then when we touched the button to close the conversation, our music wouldn't come back. Didn't know what was going on. And after doing some more research and reading the literature a little more, I realized that when you hold the button for a second, that pauses your music. When you just touch the button, that turns on the intercom. So once you learn the functions of the buttons, it gets better. But there is a learning curve there. And if you don't realize what's going on, it's a little frustrating. At first, I wasn't realizing that I was touching the button for more than just an instant. I was holding it for a second. And I couldn't understand why my music wouldn't start and why it was stopping. And sometimes it would and sometimes it wouldn't. At first, I thought it was some things wrong with the helmet. Realized it was operator error. But now we're used to the helmet. We're communicating with each other. these helmets have really solved the issue that we were looking for, and that is to be able to go out on a ride together. In an emergency, we could communicate with each other. But also, there's just times when we leave it as an open channel. We're riding in a situation where we can't ride side by side, where we have to be one in front of the other, and we just want to communicate. We enjoy riding our bicycles together. We see things that we want to talk about. We may just be in the middle of a conversation, and we can open the channel. We can leave that channel open for 3 or 4 miles. Doesn't matter. You don't hear a lot of excess road noise. You don't hear a lot of excess noise from around you. The noise canceling mic works really well. And we're finding that this helmet is really working well for us. So in summary, if you're looking for a helmet to do some communicating with while you're doing bike riding, e-bike riding, there's a lot of options out there, or an increasing number of options. We really like the Sena. We haven't had opportunity to review or use any of the other new offerings out there, but we're happy with this, and we feel like the $130 price point is a good, fair price for a helmet that works well and is designed well and built well, packed with all the high-tech features that we found work really well with the Sena R1. Well, this is Panorama Dan. Thanks for stopping in the channel and watching my review of the Sena R1. If you like this content, like this video. Consider subscribing if you want to see some videos of travel, of panorama places of different parts of the United States as we travel. And it's a great, big, beautiful world out there. Go out there and enjoy it.